All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Castlevania Season 2, Episode 2. That delicious first episode.
It was so good, right?
Yep, absolutely wonderful.
I loved the idea of us getting that little bit of context as to Dracula's wife, Lisa, but having that be another way that we can subtly kind of remind us that that priest exists so that when we see him again at the zombie forge spot, so that he could come back as a villain. Jacob and I got this like, oh, yes. Okay, good.
Oh, definitely. But let's be real. The real meat and potatoes of that episode was not the priest. It was not the extra backstory with, Lisa. It was not even seeing Dracula address his armies and everything, even though that was wonderful. It was the new characters that we got because, damn it, I can already see the fan fiction writing itself.
Hector.
Isaac.
Silver.
Yes, absolutely.
Even Godbrand.
More importantly, Godbrand.
Godbrand.
Yes, Hector, I can definitely see how him with his zombie pug, it's like, yep, you go, that'll be awesome. But Godbrand, he's such a dumbass, and yet, he's fairly reasonable, right?
He came back to apologize.
He came back to apologize.
I don't think he was prompted by Dracula to do that.
Unprompted, and he's just like, hey, I get that you guys are generals. I don't personally like that, but okay.
You may think I'm a marauding Viking, and I would pillage and all that, but actually, I think we should calm down on the killing.
We need to have a plan of infrastructure for this war. That's very important,
And yet, the humans are the ones that actually have the hatred for humanity, so they're the ones that might want the rampant killing.
Yeah.
And yet the vampires who want a new, consistent, source of food. Not really new, but a larger one.
Or just something to be left over for them to rule over, right?
Sure.
If you burn everything to the ground, that's not going to make for a very fun kingdom, But
Dracula has humans on his side, which is terrifying, to say the least. We know a little bit of the past of Hector, but
baby.
Yeah, just having humans in general that are your generals to, scheme and
move
plan
things along.
as they said.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But also, we got our party.
We do.
Trevor, Alucard, Sypha. Let's have them all get together, make their plans, move to the next town, get shit done.
Right.
Take quests, get stronger, get magic items,
and
dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
All that shit.
All that shit. Yes.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
So, how do we proceed?
Have the speakers left?
Yeah.
In success, you will see them again soon in far happier circumstances.
See? He knows how to be nice. The castle can travel somehow. We know the stories, but sometimes it's hard to separate myth from truth.
Tell her about Dracula's castle, Alucard. Her day can't get any more ruined. I want to go home. The old Belmont estate.
I was under the impression it was destroyed.
See if they can get some weapons and stuff.
But the value of the old house wasn't the house itself. It was what was underneath it.
Yeah.
The Belmont hold. Our family library and trove. If there are solutions to the problems of finding and killing Dracula, they are in the hold.
No! Dracula will decide, not you. Threaten me all you like. I will die for him if I don't kill
Michelangelo?
him first.
Is this you?
You do not question my loyalty.
I said, cease!
Oh, who dis?
Oh, more people keep showing up.
Yep.
I
Makes
am
her
Carmela.
special.
I am come from far Styria to join the War Council.
Your presence was requested some time ago.
Why was this new wife of yours never turned?
Oh,
everyone's just like,
What did you say?
You are here to subvert.
With you alone. Attend me.
You wish to speak to me.
yeah.
Nice.
That was a dramatic entrance, Camilla.
It was not meant to disrespect you.
Oh, no.
It was intended to unsettle a room full of men. I
mean,
prefer in
there
such
were women in
situations
the
to arrive
audience.
with as many advantages as possible.
And why has Godbrand been in regular communication with you?
I suspect he still wants to sleep with me.
And will you?
My lord. From another man, that would be impossible impertinence.
Speaking of impertinence, you just denounced the choice not to turn my dead wife in front of all my generals.
It's a bit of an issue.
What advantage does my anger buy you?
None. It's a question they have all been asking themselves.
Then why have you only just arrived? You were summoned some time ago. Surely I needed help much earlier.
Distractions at home. Securing my region. Villages, pitchforks, torches.
Sure,
the usual.
Sure.
I'm still not completely clear on why you don't catch fire in the daylight.
I am half human.
Yep.
All right.
My
There it
mother's
is.
name was Lisa, and she was mortal.
I would very much like to hear the story of how that happened.
She beat on the door until my father let her in, and then demanded he teach her how to be a doctor.
Wait, Dracula taught a human woman how to be a doctor. What was first? Bloodletting?
God, you still think you're funny. Do you still not understand the enormity of what we're doing? He's gone mad. And from that, there is no recovering him.
She sent him away?
She sent him to travel,
Yeah.
to learn the true state of the world, true nature of humans and how they live.
She was turning him.
Yeah.
Imagine if he could have
She
gained
was
all that
turning him.
knowledge
Yeah.
and improving lives.
We
Trees will
just,
still grow.
you know, you won't.
Birds will still sing. Animals will still hump away in the undergrowth. But you won't be here. And you won't be here. None of you. He used the covers himself from oak and wraps them in the preserved skin of the people who he hated most. And he writes plans, I've seen them. Ideas for darkening clouds and making them as permanent in the air as the frost of the north. Imagine it. A world without humans, under endless invented night. And Dracula in his castle. His revenge so horribly complete that there is nothing left to do but look out over a world without art or memory or laughter, and know that he did his work well.
That's what we're up against.
Which is the nearest town? Is it still Gratian?
Argesh is closer to us.
See, Trevor was just setting up an ambush, is the thing. Right, let them go after the vampire first.
And then Alucard's like, that's not what my character would do.
Right.
No further.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Shit.
done.
Okay, these ones don't talk, so whoa.
Oh, that's fun.
Whoa!
All right.
Coordinated!
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that is crazy. Oh, there he goes.
Nice.
Yeah. You could tell that some of them were gonna fly, so we got elevated.
Yeah.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh!
Okay.
Hell
All right.
yeah!
Watch, they're gonna have competitions of who can do the most badass takedown. Maybe don't use fire against the demons. I feel like it. Yeah, it might not be that effective.
Jesus! Oh! Woo! Oh, that was dope.
Oh, she's manipulating the fire inside of it.
Oh!
Okay.
Properly cooked.
All right.
Clever spellcraft usage.
Damn.
Oh my god.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa. Yeah. Shit.
You thieving little shit!
I didn't steal anything. I'm trying to learn.
I gave you a home and fed you, and all you were supposed to do was work quietly and watch my back, not go behind my back and fuck around with the tools of my trade. What did you think you were gonna learn?
How to help you?
Oh. You actually wanted to learn so you could help me do my work?
Because I love you.
Oh. Oh, bless your heart. Even after everything in your life, you're still a sweet boy who believes in love. Well, I love you too. That's why I do this. This is how I love you. This is how I teach you.
Oh shit! Just like that.
Yep.
Why do you do that? The whipping.
Discipline. Peace. Choosing my own actions. And inuring myself to a world of horrors.
And crapping out a minute before it managed it. Useless fucking thing. Now do your filthy human magic with it.
Oh, okay. So if we have a devil forge master, what are you, Isaac? Oh.
Perhaps this is all loyalty buys. In a world without love. Pain in the night. And death on your master's floor. Dracula will bring a pure world into being. I believe that. Okay. I believe him. I want of all things a pure world. Where there is only loyalty and only love.
Huh.
Whoa, so did he revive it then?
I don't know.
Because it woke up.
Well, that almost felt like it could have been some kind of like spasm thing. Like, I don't know.
Sure, but it made noise too.
Right, right.
If you take Brayla, you prevent escape from Wallachia.
Any city built over running water is a place that we, as vampires, should approach carefully.
And that's why boats are important.
I'd been told that vampires couldn't cross running water.
I've been on boats, I've had baths.
When?
Baths aren't running water though, are they?
Of course they are.
Do you feel like poison would kill you? Of course you don't. It's a thing you learn. It's not like we're given a manual for being a vampire.
Enough!
This is funny.
Yeah, that was such just a trite little debate.
Yeah.
Argesh is an old, respected town.
I must respectfully disagree with my fellow Forge Master. Taking Argesh brings only terror and will scatter the human populace. Taking Brayla seals off one side of Wallachia.
I must disclose that I revived the creature that returned.
Okay.
The party was attacked on the road. Their assailants are unknown. But Argesh is close to Greshit. We are quite certain that Alucard sleeps at Greshit. And that there was recently a Belmont there.
If there is a Belmont left alive, then should we not observe the ancestral Belmont home?
Why?
Perhaps on the general notion that the Belmonts hunted the likes of us for fucking centuries. And if there's one left alive, then it may have access
Her fangs
to a
are
trove
out.
of weapons and magical materials talked of across generations but never found. Am I making myself clear now? This is your war council, my lord?
Well.
Interesting.
Well.
Okay.
We have Isaac now.
We do.
The self-flagellating
cleric
servant.
Right. Yeah.
That was really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, and granted, you know, if you have two humans that are helping Dracula to exterminate the human race, you would think that they would have to have some a pretty hardcore origin story.
Yeah, pretty fucked up black pages, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But okay, there we go. Yep. And I loved seeing Godbrand be like uncomfortable with the humans self-flagellating.
He's like, I like blood, but like,
dude, chill.
That's a bit much for me.
Like I absolutely adore that Godbrand has kind of taken this role of just like
he reacts to things.
He's the bloke that's just sort of there that like other people that will get other people to talk about stuff and like just observe what happens, you know. And it's great.
Yeah, it's fun because he's not really comedic relief, but he unintentionally becomes it at times.
Right.
Because he just doesn't really have the biggest brain, so he doesn't think about what he's actually going through, and he's just kind of like, he's got a little bit of wisdom, maybe, but his intelligence score is not that high.
Exactly. He can make commentary of like, dude, we're disorganized. This is a problem. We need to like make sure that we're doing this properly. But then he can also be like, what's the point of a tactical advantage with taking a particular town? You know, please tell us, you know, right?
Yeah. And then we were introduced to Carmilla this episode, who seems like the kind of vampire that's ambitious. She's got a small regional bit of power, but she intentionally did not answer the call that Dracula did until way later because, your castle moves too much. But everyone else didn't have that problem, Carmilla.
Right. Interestingly enough, she's probably the most stereotypical character of all of them so far from what we've seen. So it almost makes me wonder if we're going to get another episode that's kind of like a focus on her in a similar way to Isaac and Hector. But yeah.
100% not, because she's not a human. She's a vampire.
Right, she's not a human, but then also she is...
That'd be like getting an episode on Godbrand.
Well, okay, first off, that would be fantastic, and I believe that will happen at some point, and it will be wonderful. But she is also an antagonistic force within the vampire society.
Yeah.
Godbrand was set up...
We thought he might have been, but he's not.
He might have been, but he wasn't. His initial scene, sure. But then we have the scene where he comes up and apologizes of his own accord. Okay, it's not that. Here you have someone, though, who is willing to challenge Dracula openly in front of his generals after kind of defying his summons, and is able to then go and talk to him about it in private and actually get out of it okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because Dracula is like trusts her or whatever, or really believes like her, you know, what she said were her motivations. If anything, it feels like maybe he just kind of doesn't care.
I don't think he cares, no.
Like her ambitions, like he's like, okay, so she's got all these ambitions and things like that, whatever. But they seem kind of petty to me, so I'll just let it slide, you know?
Yeah, I think it's also the thing of where it's maybe better that in some ways none of the other vampires know what goes on once he summons her one-on-one.
Exactly.
And then as long as she's helping him afterwards in the immediate sense, they'll think, oh, he probably gave her a thorough tongue lashing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, okay, yeah, don't do that. You know?
I think my favorite part of that whole like
exchange in the one-on-one.
Well, not just in the one-on-one, but from her showing up to the end of the one-on-one was when she's like talking to him and he just doesn't say anything and looks at her and she's like,
oh, my lord.
My lord. Yes. Right. And it's like because
he's like, if you're going to be so brazenly obvious in that you wish to usurp me, at least, you know, put the decorum into your words.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Because writing immortal beings is fun.
It is.
And there's different levels of immortal beings, right? There's the beings where it's like, yes, we've been around for a few centuries, right? And then there's Dracula, where it's just he's been around for right? Like, you know, there you go, right?
Right. There's no question about it. It's just a thing of where Dracula is the immortal being. Right. They are all immortals. So when you think about, well, what can they do? Well, they could probably do quite a bit. I think that actually if they all banded together, they might be able to kill Dracula. Like that's possibly on the table.
Yep.
But the idea is that Dracula holds a very like firm grip on things here, but he's also the kind of character at this point where he's tired. He's not actually wanting to be actively involved in this shit. He's like, I should be able to turn this over and delegate like a good leader and trust that you handle this. But when he comes out there and he's like, they're bickering over stupid squabbles.
Right, what the fuck?
This.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she shows up in the midst of the squabble to kind of point it out even more that there's this discord and disarray that was a point brought up in the previous episode. To be like, well, Dracula... if your son is coming for you, maybe you have to take this a little bit more seriously.
Yep.
And this could be the thing that gets Dracula to kind of be like, okay, let me step a little bit more into the light here.
But until then, he is absolutely going to just sort of be sitting on his throne and watching the bugs do their thing, right? And so that's a great motivational reason for why the story wouldn't be ended a lot sooner, right? Because, if they find out about, the Belmont and Alucard and, and all that stuff, right? Why don't they just squash that immediately? Well, they've got other things that they're dealing with, and, and maybe they don't.
Well, I also love the idea that it's not about whether or not they actually even feel threatened by a Belmont and the thing there. It's that from the standpoint of the non-Dracula vampires, they go, oh shit, yeah.
This is a problem.
This is the only thing that could be a problem right now.
Right.
So we'll take it very seriously. But Dracula, I don't think he's in some great rush.
Nope.
I don't think he's in some thought of like, well, yeah, okay, so my son, yeah. I'll bet on some level Dracula's like, no, my son will come to me. It's very Palpatine style.
Right.
And then I will talk to him.
Yeah, and
I will whip him into shape again.
Right.
And then he will bend the knee and it'll be okay. But a Belmont, okay, whatever. No,
regardless of how Dracula thinks that interaction will go, because I could see himself thinking like, okay, my son is a bit of an X factor. I don't know exactly how that will go.
But I'm not going to kill him.
Right. I'm not going to kill him, but I do want to see him again. I know that is going to happen probably, and I don't have that's not an issue for me. Because the vampires are like, oh yeah, we are immortals and all that stuff. We feed on humans. Suddenly, someone else that can actually fight back against the predator, the Belmonts and the weapons and all that stuff, and Alucard. Okay, they get worried. Alucard, he's like, or Dracula, he's like, I'm still at top of the food chain. I'm so not concerned by this, right? And that's just something that's a lot of fun to get into, because writing for someone as badass, kingpin, top of everything as Dracula, it can be really difficult to do, because yeah. So,
given that we now have our party moving about and their whereabouts are kind of known, and Isaac is heavily emphasizing that no, let's go and send actual strength to the place that they were just nearby
and crush it.
That means that probably one or more of the generals or Hector or Isaac will be sent there rather quickly. And I'm really excited to see, given that we saw how our party kind of utilizes their strengths in different ways here.
Sure.
In that maybe Alucard is our tank,
I think so. Because
he basically just went and drew aggro.
Yep.
And he's just an avoidance tank.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't get hit.
I love the idea that, like, Trevor, because he's a human, and yes, okay, yeah, he comes from a family of, like, monster hunters and vampire hunters and stuff. But the ways that they would probably do that is by fighting very dirty.
Very dirty.
Right? Because we're a fucking human. We're a swishy meat sack that can have
I'm gonna
holes
hide
poked
first.
into it.
I'm gonna get my sneak attack damage.
Exactly, right? Like
my man is a rogue ranger, blood hunter.
Right, like some janky hybrid thing or whatever. Whereas you have, pretty boy McVampire badass here who's just like, yes, I'll fight you all and, do all this crazy awesome stuff.
I took all my levels in this prestige class of Elder Vampire. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Armor? Bitch, please. I just walk out here with my magic sword.
And just teleport around and blue flames strike, and it's great, right? But for Trevor, it's I
gotta wait for some of them to forget that I'm here. And then...
But he still does those flashy moves because he's like, no, bitch, I'm better than you.
God, the fact that she's like, now don't try to kill each other the second I leave, and then Alucard literally said, "We're not children," and I was like, I literally made the comparison that these were her dumbass boys. And we have the mom in the group that's going to have to manage them. And yes, immediately when she left, they're like, this could be fun. Let's see who can throw the best at eat shit and die. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. And then they just laugh.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the banter between these characters is absolutely top notch. Like, it's something where with these two episodes now, like after the first episode, I was expecting it was going to leave Dracula's forces a bit into the background, now that we like got to see them and know who they are. Yeah. And then it was going to focus a lot more on the main cast. Yeah. After this episode, I still think that could definitely happen. Right. And I think that's the most likely thing to happen. But I could see a world line where most of the actual shown conflict is maybe with Dracula's forces, and then our roving like little band of adventurers
are just gaffing and faffing about.
They're
Just
right, exactly.
They're just goofing off, and they're like, talking shit, and then
because the stuff that they're needing to
out.
deal with is not that big of a deal right now. It's like it wouldn't necessarily be important to show them overcoming this conflict because they have to deal with like some random demons on the side of the road that attack them, and it's like,
and then this is just our way to show they've got that stuff handled.
Right.
Once
exactly.
you bring in a general, then we'll talk. Things could get a little scary.
But until then, we can just show them doing their little bits of montages of cool action with the wonderful quips between them, and that can be just fine.
Yeah.
That could be all that we need to see of them because that's all they're doing right now.
Yeah, we did get a little bit of Alucard talking about his mom, which I really liked seeing how the two other party members responded to this. Because Trevor was all like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. What was there, bloodletting first? And then it's like, no.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is my mom you're talking about. And then as they go into it, Sypha's like, oh. Like, she's very much like, I'm absorbing this. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, if he did teach her this and traveled the world to understand humans, wait, who are we trying to kill here?
Who is turning who? Yeah.
Well, right. But also, if we're going to go kill Dracula, maybe Dracula's like the problem here, but maybe killing him isn't the answer. Maybe if anything, it's stopping him.
Right.
Maybe if anything, it's grabbing stuff from his castle and getting, at the very least, the stuff that is important that is there out, so that human beings can have that. You know.
Yep. And
maybe pulling off a raid first before you actually attack Dracula might be really
steal
nice.
His shit.
Yeah, steal his shit.
Yeah.
Get him pissed and then have him end up having to leave his castle or move it around someplace.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if anything, maybe like causing some strife so that, I mean, they don't know what the state of affairs is going on in his castle right now.
They get in there and they're like, yes, army of vampires.
Wait, actually, no, that's a good point. We can always assume a little bit that Alucard is going to give them helpful info about what is going on, with the castle, but with with Dracula's decisions about how to handle this.
Well, and that was,
so he would definitely know that he'll probably have his generals there.
Yeah.
He'll probably be talking about like how he's managing this war.
Yeah, Alucard probably knows all about Dad's coworkers and stuff.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then also how serious this is because of how he explained what the stakes are here.
And I gotta say, that was probably my favorite part from the episode. Like the band, other than maybe just some of the goofy banter, but like the part where Alucard is actually describing, no, this is what my dad's going to do. This is what it would look like. This is why he's going to do it, and this is what his victory is, what it means, right? Not just I'm going to destroy humans, but what kind of a world would they then be living in after that, right? And is that something that he would truly be satisfied with? Would he be happy? Would his revenge finally feel sated? And
it's like kind of maybe.
Yeah. Like I fully, it can be very easy for revenge stories, especially if they go into like a very extreme kind of revenge, for it to feel short-sighted.
Where it's not eye for an eye. It's a oh no, I'm going
overwhelming.
I'm going to take the village now.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that is very easy for me to buy in the heat of the moment, for sure. As some furious wrath, basically, right? Yeah. But if it's something that goes into more the cold angle, it can be hard to buy if you don't see the reasonings for it. And the vampires given that there's a bunch of non-humans, the idea of just wiping out humans, it's like, no, just get rid of them. We'll have our peaceful existence and that'll be pretty great, actually. Yeah. Like, we just won't have to deal with all you guys doing your crazy shit.
We'll terraform this whole planet.
Yeah, we'll terraform this whole place. We'll make it to be a place for the creatures of the night, and we'll just be able to sit in the gloom and peace and quiet and just, and Dracula will know his work is done. It's like, there you go. That feels compelling. I believe that. I believe that Dracula wants that, right? As opposed to like potentially it being something where it's like, wait, at some point he's going to realize that he hasn't thought this through, or Lisa wouldn't have wanted that. Or
right. The part that I feel like is a bit of dissonance is that Alucard calls Dracula mad.
Right.
Now he means like broken mentally and not like just enraged. He means like my father has gone mad. So what that would mean is that he thinks that Dracula is in some ways not thinking in a sane way. Now,
Right.
obviously, there's a part of this that is accurate in that he is taking the village for the slight, basically. Now
and beyond.
Yes. But what we've seen of Dracula in the castle is not
anything
a madman.
but insane. Yeah.
It's in some ways a sad man, a
Right.
broken man, a tired man.
Yeah.
And given that he is letting this be delegated to his generals, I don't think he gets any pleasure anymore from hurting humans.
Right.
That's why he's brought these two humans in here to be
because they can handle that.
Well,
side
they can
of
also
things.
they can also keep the hatred burning, if you will.
Exactly. Because
holding hatred is a very soul crushing thing.
And didn't he mention that in the previous episode
Yeah.
of like, I don't hate them anymore.
Yeah.
I just think they shouldn't be here.
Right.
And that's like, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
And
so basically, I don't think when they end up encountering Dracula, like way in the future, that they'll find a madman. They'll
Right.
just find someone who's tired and then is just like, can you all just go and die already?
Right. And
like,
the part of where that'll be interesting is that your son is half human.
Exactly.
Now you could say that because he's not full human, then therefore he's exempt or whatever. But
probably.
Right. But Alucard won't be able to stand by that, right? It's you are taking the half of me that is,
you're picking and choosing.
You're picking and choosing.
Do you want me, Father? Well, then you need to accept all of me.
Right.
It's classic.
I am
son-father
still
stuff.
like, I got half of me from Mother, right? And even though she's dead, you're now getting rid of all of her people. Yes, her people did this to her, but like, so it's
really compelling.
It's really compelling, and it's something that's interesting not just from the standpoint of I see Dracula having a moment where he maybe has to get fresh perspective.
Sure.
But also Alucard, because the only way Alucard can rationalize it is my father's insane.
Yeah.
There's no saving him, etc., etc.
And hey, there might be a little bit of that is deception, and that Alucard is not so unaware of his father's current state that he would basically be, like he would be aware that he's not entirely a madman. It's that, my father is underneath in sorts a spell of just this of his own making, of his own anger and hatred, that unless something dramatic changes, we have to do this.
Right. He has reached such a dramatic state of mind and decision making that
this is the course.
This is the course.
Yeah.
If there were any place for conversation, they would have had that before, and that's probably when Dracula kicked his ass.
But that's the thing. I think at some point that's going to be the cool arc of Dracula, is that he's actually going to mellow out slowly but surely.
Right, and then the question is by the time that happens, will the show just be over? Because
I don't think so.
Because I don't see it being something where Dracula would realistically get into a situation where he is incapable of resolving this situation. It might be something that would take some time,
right?
But like, I wouldn't have any doubt of whether or not he would be capable of doing that, right? I don't think Carmilla is ever going to get to a point where it's like, I've beaten you, Dracula.
No, but I could
you serve me now.
No, but I could actually see Alucard. I could see Alucard ending the blood crusade that he's on.
And that feels very much like a finale, end of story kind of a thing.
And again, I disagree.
Oh, really?
I actually don't think so. I think what they're setting up with Dracula is the opposite, is that it's a thing of where Dracula will slowly but surely end up being one of the characters that basically realizes he set something forth that he can't control anymore, and he'll be stopped probably, but the story will continue.
The creatures of the night are already here, the demons and all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And in some ways, I would say, Dracula feels too personable for a final boss at this point.
Right.
I think he's already basically being set up to be a mid to end game kind of encounter.
I don't see how they could really have the final conflict of this story be a fight with Dracula rather than like a fight that's followed by a conversation.
Or a conversation that's followed by a fight that goes beyond that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I just really like what they're doing with Dracula, and I want to see this side of him that brings in humans to stoke his own people's flames of, passion while he's not really being that direct leader in
Right.
that regard. And I feel like all these other vampire generals are the way to focus on that contrast.
Right. Godbrand, you just stay strong, buddy. You know?
Yeah. All right. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other animated shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.